We weren't late. StreamYard had some technical difficulties. But we're here to start your day. Mornings in the lab with Keith. Oh yeah, and my friends are over there too. Here we go. We are running a little bit behind this morning, but that is okay because we are here. Yes, we are. Oh, yes. Good morning, nation. Good morning. I'm running at 12 minutes behind, maybe 13 minutes behind, whatever the hell it is. But that just means we got less time with Marty today. Yeah. Hey, good morning, everybody. Keith Bilous here. Mornings in the lab with Keith and friends. And listen, congratulations on just showing up today and stepping in. Been interacting with you the last couple of days on the platform. I'm inviting you to the world's biggest men's the biggest men's non-toxic conversation. I know you're tuning in and you're going to judge all of us by the book on the cover. You're going to judge me, you're going to judge Marty, you're going to judge Rich, and you're going to judge John. True story. Then you're going to hear us speak and you go, oh, these guys are vulnerable. Oh, these guys are soft. Oh, these guys have feelings. Yeah, true story. Hey, quick note. Listen, before we dive into this, baby, we do have adult language on this show. It flows freely. So if you got kids around, I encourage you to put the earplugs in, because they might hear some offensive language along the way. But listen, do you ever notice how the most successful people aren't the ones grinding hardest? Nope, not us. No, we're just sitting here waiting for the button to press so we can get on the fucking show. Yeah. Oh, I did warn you that there's going to be F-bombs dropping here on the show. So if you got the kids around, sorry, put Uncle Keith's money in the tip jar here. But listen, the ones that are grinding hardest aren't the ones who built something bigger than their own effort. No way, baby. Our guest today, Haley Lytle, she replaced an entire sales team. Yeah, with one email funnel. So if you're a sales team out there, get off the show because Haley's going to make you unemployed. She's going to put an email funnel in place. You guys all have no jobs. Nope. Haley's coming in. You guys all got no jobs because she's going to eliminate your jobs with a sales funnel. Yeah, true story. I kid. But listen, I'm going to throw the monologue aside, Jimmy, and we're going to ramp up the process here. I'm going to turn my attention here. We're going to bring in the crew. We're going to chitter-chatter for about 2 minutes, and then we're going to bring in Haley. So let's just do this, guys. Good morning, Richie. Good morning, Marty. Good morning, the cloud of smoke. What up? Anderson.
What's happening?
What up?
Richie, how are you, man? I'm going to start with you. Richie's in green on green on green. Looks like he's camouflaged there. He's
right, man. I'm OD today. OD
oh,
green.
Yeah, there it goes. Yeah, and Nation, I got to call out my friend Marty and Johnny that we're watching Richie's hair grow out right in front of us right here live on the show, Johnny. So every week,
we are
getting longer, man. It's getting longer.
Yes,
That's
we
right,
are.
man. I'm waiting for John Anderson to just caress my skull.
I'm telling you, brother, you get that Rico Suave stuff going, I'm going to have to get a wig to match you.
There you go. There we go. We got Marty, of course, in the nice soft pink. Less brunches, more crunches t-shirt with the electric red Beats headset on. Oh, just describing it. And then, of course, we got Johnny in the black no fuck excuses t-shirt with the beret. He's got the beret on today. And, of course, old Uncle Keith here is wearing black on black on black with the black hat. I got the top hat today because we're bringing in a guest here today. But before we bring the guest on stage, boys, what's going on quickly? A little frustrated today. We're all just like sitting in the studio. We all can't get in. Like, what the hell? Why can't we get in? Good morning, Mike McQuillan. We see you here as well. But Richie, what's going on today? Let's go around the table quickly. How are you today, brother?
Oh, man. Doing great. You know, just rehearsing for a talk that I have coming up tomorrow. Getting my workouts in and just hustling, man. Getting it done.
I love it. Hey, Marty, Jimmy, Johnny, Richie was working on getting this presentation a few months ago, and I heard him. So I'm pitching this group. He fucking pitches them. They're like, yeah, we want to buy. So he's off to do this big brand new speech later this week, which we're really excited about. So Richie would typically join us on Thursday, Friday, but Richie's got more important things to do. He's going to go address a few soldiers, I think, Richie, right? You're going to go address a few soldiers and set them up, pal?
Yeah, that's right. The cadets at Texas A&M. So I'm excited about it.
I love that. So we're going to catch up with Richie next week after that big speech at Texas A&M. Johnny Anderson, buddy, how are you? I know the first couple of days of the week were a little bit delicate for you. How are you doing today, pal?
I'm good, brother. I got the silver lining. I'm seeing very clear. I always say, don't let a good tragedy go to waste. And unfortunately, it was a tough time to get through. But you're a different person when you get through the storm. You're a better person as long as you stay focused on what you need to focus on, which is obviously the silver lining. How I learned from this whole thing. But I got to say real quick, I just got to give a quick shout to my boy Rich there. Everything is on track. He's doing good, but you can hear he's sniffly. He's not talking about that.
Oh, you're right. I can hear it too.
Brother. Don't acknowledge that stuff. That's it. I love it, Rich.
Look, man, NyQuil was a hell of a drug, dude. At like 7 p.m. last night, I took the recommended dosage, but I woke up coughing and sore throat at 1 a.m. And I just walked into the kitchen. I grabbed the bottle and I just took a quick. I don't even know how much.
Richie, don't give Marty any ideas, man. Don't give Marty any ideas.
That's the cure right there. I got the cheat code. Thank you, Rich. Let's go. Let's get it.
No mention of a bad night's sleep. No mention of a sniffle. Just how you doing, Rich? You fucking A. He's on track. That's what.
Just getting after it. Yeah. Marty, how are you, brother? I know you had a little cinch to your plans yesterday, and you're all good today, brother. Is today's plans going on track today for you?
I'm surprised I didn't fucking run through a wall. I didn't get my morning routine yesterday, but it's all good. I learned from John Anderson. You still don't do that if you don't get your morning routine. But anyway,
that's it.
Yeah. So basically, one of my staff members couldn't open the gym, so it's on me to open it if they can't get it. So you know how that is. Because I didn't want to mess up other people's morning routine.
That's right. Richie, Johnny, I got a call from Marty yesterday afternoon. He's looking at the camera at me like almost like a lost puppy. Like, my routine's been this, but lately it's been nice like this. And he's like, fuck, man, I got to get it on track here. So
I got to figure that out. So.
Well, brother, when you're a leader, you got to be the guy that does the shit that no one else will do. And if it means you got to give something up to lead the masses, that's what you do. It's exactly what you did.
That's right. So we're on an expedited plan this morning, Jimmy. So we're gonna bump the accountability check, and we're gonna bring in Haley here in a quick minute. But good morning, Jack Dugan. Good to see you here. Good to have you, obviously, in the lab. And Jack, Richie's calling you up, man. He's just saying happy Veterans Day, happy belated. Thanking you for your service.
Oh, thanks, Jack. Appreciate you, man.
That's awesome. As we know, Nation, Jack joins us every single. Jack's discovered this free accountability show. He's like, wait a minute, I like these guys. I'm gonna hang out every single morning. He shows up, and Nation, along the way, the guy's lost over 40 pounds just by showing up. The magic that happens when you show up consistently. And I got Userman 2024. And no, I did not sell you the crack behind Walmart. No, it was in front of the Walmart. Dude, it was in front, not the back. No, that was the other guy in the gray hat. I was the guy in the black hat in the front corner, the black Tesla. You remember, that's where I was. You must have. You must have me confused with somebody else here. So, and of course, we got McQuillan and we got Shinku joining us here on the horizontal stream. Good morning, Shinku, as well. But Richie, Johnny, Marty, I think we can't just leave our guests sitting in the green room any longer.
Well, hey, real quick, brother, we missed the accountability check-in, so I need a piss.
Yes, you do. So here's because it's actually StreamYard's fault. We love you, StreamYard. We love you. But they had a little hiccup here. It just says the show is about to go live, so it sent the whole show off track here. So Johnny's sneaking out to go for a restroom break. Yeah, that's just what he does around this time. And then we're going to bring in Haley, and we're going to start the dialogue with Haley here. And but here's what I am going to do, Jimmy, as I scroll through my notes here in front of me here, getting rid of the accountability check-in, Jimmy. And I'm going to go right to this part of the show, which says this. Nation, picture inbox. Yeah, you're just sitting down there today going, there's my inbox. What the hell am I doing? I got this big inbox. It's full of shit everywhere. No, don't picture the inbox as a burden. No, picture the inbox as a sales team that never sleeps. Nope, doesn't sleep. Nope. Never complains, never asks for a raise. It's like those AI bots around there. They never complain, they never ask for a raise. Coming up, Haley Lytle. Haley, am I saying your last name right? Let's bring her on the stage there, Jimmy. Haley, what's going on?
You got it, man.
How are you today?
I am so good. How are you?
I'm awesome. We got Marty up here as well. We got Richie here as well. So Haley, I'm sorry that you missed kind of like the first 12, 13 minutes of the show. So to me, Marty, Jimmy, and Johnny, and everybody else because StreamYard was down. But we're bringing you we're bringing you onto the show right now. Excited to have you on here. You are in the business of unemploying humans because you just bring email funnels into the place.
You know, trying to help these creators do a lot less work than they're putting in right now with sales and everything like that. It's a shame how much work people are putting into trying to get leads and just nothing is coming of it. Or they're sending emails and they're not getting any replies and nothing is coming of it. So it's kind of where I'm coming in.
There you go. We got Jack Dugan. Welcome you here to the lab as well, Haley. But hey, Haley, we ask this question of every single guest that comes through the lab. What's your morning routine? And maybe you don't even have one. But we'd love to know what your morning routine is so we can either chastise you, tease you, hold you accountable, love you, or whatever.
Or inspire you and motivate you. Jesus Christ, what side of the bed did you wake up on?
Yeah, I don't know what's up with this guy. Man. Who is this guy?
Positivity always first, baby.
My team's holding me accountable, Haley. So tell us your morning routine, Haley.
Man, I wake up at about 8. I'm sleeping pretty late, but first thing, get up, let my 4 dogs outside.
Nice.
Fill their bowls with food, go back in, make my bed, get some coffee, and then I get ready for the day, pull my laptop either out to the living room or I stay here in the office. Kind of just depends on how much reality TV that I want to watch is on.
That's a good little morning routine right there. I
love the honesty though.
Yeah. I mean, I love reality TV. I can't get away from it.
Yeah. So Haley, but listen, so us boys, we show love through jest. Do you have any brothers, Haley, or?
I do. I've got an older brother. He's 9 years older.
Oh, so then you know how
she's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say
we're in it.
Yeah, so you know where I'm going with this.
Yeah. I got great uncles out there who just poke and jab, so I'm ready for it. I'm in the right room.
Okay, good. Awesome. So Johnny, Marty, Jimmy, Johnny. I think I heard Haley say that she gets up at what time?
8.
Exactly.
Well, the first question is, what time do you go to bed? And is there productivity? Because some people choose to be highly productive at night and sleep in. That's the question.
You know, I think I spent years and years with a really horrible sleep schedule. Like I would go to bed at midnight and I'd wake up at 5 a.m. to go to work, and it just destroyed me. So I think, no, I'm not super productive at night unless you consider rest super productive. I really try and prioritize like the last 2 hours of my night just with my partner, doing something relaxing, getting into bed by like 9, 10, and then sleeping until 8. Like I get a lot of sleep.
Dude, you know what? You're up at 8. I get up at 4. So I got 4 hours ahead of you, man. And I'm not bragging. I'm actually living.
I gotta get there.
I'm living.
Don't rub it in, man.
Those extra 4. Marty gets up at 2 or 3, actually. So, but Haley. So listen. Here's what's fascinating to me about your story. So your clients come to you drowning in 10, 12-hour days while Haley's sleeping until 8, and you call it what's stuck and called the time trap. Break down that first moment when someone realizes their hustle isn't just exhausting them; it's actually limiting their growth. And then how do you take those steps, Haley, with your customers?
Yeah, man, that's a good question. This actually just happened with a recent client of mine. He had a following. It's about 20,000 followers on LinkedIn, and he's got another 20K probably on YouTube, another 10 on Instagram. And he had this really great content strategy, and it's, you know, he makes a long form YouTube video and he breaks it down, puts it all into LinkedIn, and then he breaks that down and puts shorter form content into other platforms. And the thing is, this guy is rolling in sales calls. I mean, like he's booked up. So it's funny. I usually get people who are either like, I can't get any clients at all, or like I'm in a time trap. So when these people are in a time trap, they usually come to me because they've got this great business going. And then all of a sudden they're like, holy shit, I've got 12 sales calls a day that are all taking me like 30 minutes to an hour long. So I don't even get any of my work done. I have to just have a way that streamlines these people to book these sales without me getting in the DMs with them and without them maybe seeing my content once or twice a week. So that's really where we start to come in and we say, okay, what is your audience holding on to? Like, in terms of content, like what do they like? What do they need? What are their current problems in their day to day? And then after we answer those questions, we kind of start to develop a lead magnet. And we use that lead magnet to drive more people to this email list. And then we set up a welcome flow that essentially builds trust, builds authority, and nurtures them towards the offer without the person having to be there. So this guy, I remember, like, I think it was 15 days after we implemented the funnel, and he messaged me and he was like, made 10K from one email, like,
wow.
Boom, done, you know, and there's no work there. We sent the email and it's done. Calls booked, and in 10 minutes they were like, hey, how do I work with you? So in my mind, I'm like, that's how being a creator should work. Like, you should be able to focus on the creativity and not focus on like back and forth in the DMs, back and forth on the DMs, and then maybe booking a call. And then maybe by the time they book a call, they're like, I don't know. And they have a million questions. So my whole thing is like, let's eliminate all of those problems.
Yeah. Boys, question for Haley?
What type of service or product was this example?
So this was my signature service is a done for you email funnel. So that's what I provide to, usually it works best for creators who have about 10,000 followers. And then we put in this
I'm sorry, I should have phrased my question better. So the person you were describing, what is his product or service?
Yeah, so he does videos for people. He helps people create videos.
Okay, so he basically is a creator helping others be creators.
Yes. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, so he's got a service. Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I would say this mostly works for service-based businesses.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. For a product, it may not quite be the same with what you described, but service, I can totally. That's what I do, and you described one of the systems I have in place as well. So
yeah,
she's talking real shit here, people. Listen closely.
Hey, you're hanging out with Keith, Marty, Richie, Haley, Lytle, and John Anderson here. We're talking mornings in the lab with Keith and friends, and we're going to get to the C Marty Fit Tip, Jimmy, in about 90 seconds or so. So if you're sticking around for that, and later in the hour, we got Jory Janzen joining us for some discussion on nutrition. We're going to dig into some crazy shit that Richie's doing in the second hour, and so forth. And then John Anderson with the lifestyle tip coming up. But Haley, I got a question for you before we flip over to Marty's fit tip. Let's get specific about these email funnels you work on, not the tech, not the tactics, the actual freedom that these email funnels create. What happens to Elita's impact when their sales processes run themselves? Like, how do their lives, their daily and morning routines change because of this simple email funnel? Haley, in 90 seconds or less.
I would say they end up looking just like my morning routine. You get to sleep in longer, maybe hang out with your dogs, cook a good breakfast, hang out with your partner at night, hang out with your kids, go speak to military events. I mean, you get to basically be the creative person that you want to be without getting bogged down by all the sales aspects of it.
Wow. If you're not inspired by what Haley's saying, then you got to go to another channel. But what now? You're going to be inspired by what Marty's got coming up here. Marty's going to inspire you. Then we're going to come back with Haley and continue the conversation in the deep dive with Marty, Richie, myself, Johnny, and Haley Lytle. Marty, you're up, brother.
All right, let's get it. All right, we got the fitness tip for today. Sorry I missed the fitness tip yesterday, but hey, stuff happens. But here we are. We got the best functional exercise for men over 35. All right, we want to keep strength, mobility, and agility up as we age. All right, these are functional exercises that are going to be your go-tos for longevity and performance. First one, we talk about all the time, we got deadlifts, total body strength, and the legs, back, posterior chain. Focus on your form and not the weight. The people that are scared of them probably doing the wrong form, or they're probably lifting too heavy. Their body isn't ready for that. All right, next one, goblet squats. Great for core strength and knee health, and you're working every muscle in your leg. Push-ups. Come on, fellas. You got to do push-ups. It's the most simple. It's probably the simplest workout we've been doing since we were, 5 years old. All of us wanted to do push-ups. You can still do them as a grown man. Simple, effective, versatile, and it's for your upper body strength. Chest, shoulders, triceps. We got planks, key to core strength, protecting your back from daily strains. We got lunges, which is one of my favorite. This is going to help with your balance, your stability, and every muscle in your lower body, just like the squat. All right, so keep these exercises in rotation, aiming for 2 to 3 sessions a week. You can change the weight. You can change the foot placement. You can change the hand placement. You can get creative with it. But these are going to be your staples right here. That's the fitness tip for today.
Gentlemen, listen, do some push-ups today. It's just so simple. Hey, Marty, it's something we've done our entire life. So get down there, drop some push-ups, do some squats. You do not need a gym to do push-ups, gentlemen. So, I would invite you to drop down and do some push-ups today. But listen, we're back with Haley Lytle, myself, Richie from John Anderson, and C. Marty Fit, and producer Jimmy on the buttons here today on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. We are digging into the deep dive with Haley Lytle around building your morning revenue engine. Dude, you can sleep till fucking 8 a.m. Get up, just go have some coffee, watch some reality TV, take the dogs out, go hang out with your partner, all while your automated email system is doing all the work. That 10, 12-hour workday, the constant prospecting, the endless sales calls. Listen, in the next 12 minutes, you're going to see the exact funnel system that cut one entrepreneur's workload by 50%. Not through better time management. No, she sleep again until 8 o'clock. Through automation that sells while you sleep. Haley, let's get super tactical right now. When a client calls you, when Johnny Anderson's like, hey, I'm stuck in a 12-hour grind. What's the first system you're telling John to build? Haley Lytle.
Sorry, y'all.
I would have to start out by saying, what are you selling? And is it worth the 12 hours that you're putting into it? I find that so many people get stuck in these time traps because maybe their offer is great, but the positioning is really crap around it. And so one of the first things that I actually start to look at is, do we have a solid offer in place that we can build a funnel around? Because if we don't have something solid in place that your audience isn't latching onto in the first place, if we put a funnel in place, it's just like a Band-Aid, right? It's not really going to do anything. So I'd really ask John, like, okay, are you on sales calls 12 hours a day, or are you on LinkedIn 12 hours a day? Where is your starting point? That's a really important thing that I think so many people skip over, is meeting people where they're at.
Yeah, I got to jump on that right away. If an offer doesn't create enough interest, it doesn't make a difference how good your funnel is. If the interest is high enough, a lot of times you'll find it doesn't. It's not even about how much you're asking for it. It's like if you said, hey, you went into a busy New York street and you had a Ferrari, took the keys, you said, next guy that gives me 10 grand in cash can have this. The value is so high. It's such an interesting situation. People that don't have the 10 grand will go find that money and try to take advantage of the situation because the interest level is so high. So if you don't have a highly interesting offer, none of this other shit matters.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. I feel like a big part that I have to come in and kind of help these people with is, okay, if the offer is like, kind of there, then it's really about positioning that messaging well enough that we get more people onto it. And that's where the lead magnet really comes in. That's what we're really looking to build first, is something that gets more of your audience interested in what you're doing.
Yeah. Good morning, Joe Fontana. I see you there in the comments. Good morning, Rick Koletke. I see you. Love Haley Lytle's process to eliminate questions and concerns before your sales call. Haley, a question from Rick, a question from the comments here. And Nation, Johnny's got a lifestyle tip coming up, but I have a lifestyle tip coming up as well, courtesy of Joe Fontana. He dropped it yesterday on LinkedIn. If you want new tires for your car, you need to hear what I'm going to say in a few moments, man. Joe Fontana dropping nuggets on LinkedIn. But hey, Rick says this for you. Question for you, Haley. Curious how you qualify whom you reach out to in your emails.
So we aren't doing outreach. I don't do cold emails. I don't waste my time doing that. We build a curated list of people who are potentially interested in your offer. So we do that by building this lead magnet that drives people to your list. So yes, I have a cold outreach strategy for the DMs. I would say, though, that 75% of my business comes inbound through my emails or through LinkedIn from people who are on my email list. And then just about 25% of it is outbound for people who maybe I'm like, hey, I saw you in my comments. Are you interested? And if they're not ready, then boom, I have a lead magnet that I can send them. And then they're in my email list.
So what do you say to the person who's got, say, a big email list, 20, 30,000 people, and they're just not getting a very good open rate? What do you say to that person?
Man, another really good question that I recently I'm actually in the middle of fixing this problem for somebody. So many of these people have these email lists that are like 10, 20,000 people that they've curated from like LinkedIn or websites where they've just scrubbed the emails.
Yes.
And what happens when you do that is you get really poor open rates and really poor deliverability. And when you get poor deliverability, you get tons of people who are bouncing. So first of all, I always ask, when's the last time you sent an email? How often are you sending emails? Do you have people responding? If you don't, okay, let's send a re-engagement sequence to see if we can get them interested in a lead magnet that we have to offer.
And what might a re-engagement sequence look like?
Yep. So I usually would say it's about 3 emails. You have to be really careful with these because if you have a dead list and you send them 5 emails over 5 days, they're going to instantly unsubscribe because they're like, who the hell is this person in my inbox? So I usually go with 1 email that says, hey, it's been a while. I know that you got on this email list because you're interested in this. I actually came out with this free resource. Here it is if you're interested. 2 days later, follow up. Hey, I don't know if you grabbed the lead magnet. If you did, here's some more value on it, why you should download it. And then day 3, a couple days later, you say, all right, cool. I showed you my offer. Either you're in or you're out. Time to say goodbye. And then you scrub those people from the list. And that's a good thing. Even if you're losing like 1,000 people, you want those 1,000 people off your list.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nation, have we ever had somebody offering so many nuggets here in such a short period of time here, Marty? Richie? Haley's just dropping nuggets here for you, Nation. So if you're looking to take charge of your future, you got to keep tuning into what Haley Lytle's offering here on your email marketing. But Haley, let's get specific about implementation. Using John as the example. Let's take us through what happens when your funnel system takes over. What's John's first morning feel like when he wakes up to automated sales?
Yeah, this definitely isn't an overnight thing, and I always remind people that. But, that first morning, John's got a link in his LinkedIn that drives people to his email list, and he's got content that's calling people to his email list. And I mean, the day that he wakes up and sees $10,000 in his email account, I mean, I'd say he's probably taken the day off knowing that this is possible, that he just went to bed and
if you're
woke up
talking
to
about
revenue.
me, they're talking about me. That's not happening.
Yeah, no, fuck that.
I knew he was.
Yeah, but I mean, there's some people. There's some
10.
people when they get a little bit ahead, they back off. For me, it's not about the money; it's about the process succeeding. I want more of the success. The money is just a gauge. Just tells you, it's just a way to gauge your forward progression.
Yeah, I would say too, one of the best outcomes of my funnel, I have a little video testimonial that I like save in my pocket just because it's such a feel good one. But it really comes down to that mental shift of like, oh my God, I can write emails and they can make me money, and it can actually be really fun to make long form content.
Richie, I see you leaning into this. I could just, Marty, we've gotten to know Richie over time, and I can just see the smoke coming out of Richie's ears. The brain's just fucking processing in your head here, Richie. Like, what are you thinking? I can hear Haley talking, and you're just taking it all in, and I don't see you scribbling notes. So what's on your mind as Haley's talking, Richie Ingram?
So I'll tell you why I'm not scribbling notes. I'm not scribbling notes because I don't want to waste this. I don't want to waste a second of absorbing what she's fucking saying. And here's why. Me getting into my speaking career is relatively new, right? So I've been focused on the product because, like Haley just said, like we have to make sure that you have a deliverable that people actually want. And so, I've been focusing on the product. Now it's time for me to start doing this kind of thing. So I'm working on content creation. And look, I used to be in sales. I used to own a sales agency. And it was all about the front load, doing the hard work first, putting in like the what if in this. And I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. like I just did it. But at the time I was bootstrapping. And so I was trying to figure it out. I didn't have money. And so Haley just, I'm here to learn, man.
She's dropping nuggets, eh, Richie? She's dropping nuggets.
Yeah.
Is there one thing that stands out for you, though, that she said? So, knowing your previous sales experience, Richie, and knowing your journey now, is there one thing jumping out of Haley's mouth that you're like, oh, I'm going to lean into that? Like, is there one specific thing, Richie?
Yeah. So the number one, it's not really anything. It's not really anything she said, but it's where I connected with her. And where I connected with her is my job is to product and provide talent and the service. I'm going to outsource what she's telling me because I don't like that. And what John said, you have to like the process. I don't like doing that kind of thing. So I'm going to come to someone like Haley and say, hey, look, I need you. Here's what I can do. Here's what my budget is. Help me get to, here's what my end state is. Can you do that? And so that's where I'm connecting with Haley on that because like, I don't know what I don't know, but I know that I need help.
Yeah. Haley, give us the best transformation story you've had. A client who went from always selling to a system that's selling for me. And what's the one thing that changed everything for them as we work towards wrapping up our segment with you? And my hope is your answer is going to inspire somebody listening going, aha, light goes on. Haley, best transformation story.
Oh man, I always say I'm my best transformation story. I I really came from a place where I was like $30,000 in debt. I had no job. I had quit with no plan, but I knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. And so I was like, I'm going to put all my eggs into something and figure this out. I knew that I liked writing. And so I ended up joining a cohort and they were like, hey, check out email marketing. And so I did. I got on LinkedIn. I was on there for like 3 months, spending 12 hours a day on there, grinding, even on LinkedIn at my part-time job, just making absolute nothing, no money at all. And I put in this email funnel. I started driving people to it. And I remember after like the 3rd week of doing it, I had $5,000 in my bank account. And I was like, this is money. Like, this is how you have to do business. You can't do what everybody else is doing. You can't play everybody else's game. You have to play your own game. You have to put systems in place that work for you and allow you to get to the next level. And I truly believe that that is what email funnels let people do.
Yeah. Before we get to some lifestyle tips for myself and Johnny, Marty, any questions from you for Haley before we invite Haley to the rest of her day?
If there's one thing that helps me is like pain points, because I hate selling too. But when I could find that pain point, that kind of like gets people. You have any more nuggets like that, or can you expound on pain points when it comes to getting people to buy your service?
Yeah. This is one of my favorite things to talk about. Actually, I'm coming out with a whole product on this. It's everywhere on LinkedIn. Like, you got to know your audience. You got to know their pain points, and nobody actually tells you how the hell to find their pain points other than like researching online and maybe hopping in the DMs and being like, what are you struggling with? And when you ask that, so many people ghost you because they think that you are trying to sell to them. So when I think about pain points, I go, okay, if my pain point is I'm not getting any leads, what are the symptoms that I am feeling every day? Like, okay, maybe I'm writing crappy content. Maybe it's making me feel bad after work. And then your solution is based around those symptoms that are occurring every day rather than broad pain points that everybody's talking about. You're getting one step closer to talking about the day-to-day, and that really makes you relate to them.
Yeah. Haley Lytle, you are dropping, I'm going to take it from Rick here. I said, Haley's dropping nuggets. No, Rick's like, no, Haley's dropping bombs here today. So I love the information you're dropping here. And Rick's like taking the perspective of I'm serving them. I'm not selling them anything has helped Rick as well. And Joe Fontana jumping in with great analogy, focusing on the symptoms here. Haley, you've just shown us the blueprint for freedom. Where can people connect with you to learn more about turning their manual hustle into automated success? Haley Lytle.
Yeah, find me on LinkedIn, Haley Lytle. Find me on Threads now. I've got 10 followers on there. So go find me on
Yeah.
Threads, Haley_Lytle. I'm on there dropping bombs about how to turn your engagement into revenue with email funnels. So yeah, catch me on those places.
Awesome. Haley, we dropped bombs all morning for you. So we come back and hang out with us again.
Absolutely. Had a great time.
Awesome. Well,
Thank
listen,
you, Haley.
Haley's
Yeah,
gonna
appreciate you, Haley.
Haley's gonna get on with her day. So, hey, guys, Haley had to wake up early today. Haley, where are you right now? Are you in Eastern time zone? Where are you?
I'm not. I'm in Idaho. So I woke up at 5 a.m. for you guys.
Oh,
Yeah.
Look out.
You're
Yeah.
up.
Look out.
Haley's gonna go crush some reality TV, go walk her dogs, go back to sleep. She'll be up in a few hours. Haley, have a great day. Loved having you in here. Johnny Anderson's up with a lifestyle tip. In about 20, Jory Janzen's next. And in about 20 minutes, I got a lifestyle tip courtesy of our friend Joe Fontana. You don't want to miss that one. Johnny, you're up, brother.
Let's go, John.
Here we go. Let's do this. All right. We all have lists, daily lists of shit we have to do, whether it's in your head or you write it down, whatever, however you do it is how you do it. But we all have daily lists. The question you got to ask yourself is, are you on that list? Are you taking care of yourself? You take care of all of these things in your life, so they'll take better care of you. But are you taking care of yourself? Because if you've got this anxiety over the shit you've got to do and you're not on your list, that anxiety is going to continue to get worse and worse. If you didn't keep your car tuned up, would you wonder why you were broken down on the side of the road? Hell no. So ask yourself a question. Are you taking care of you? And if you're not on your daily list, it's time to rewrite your list. Rock and roll.
What's your list, nation? Yeah, if you're not taking care of you, you got to rewrite the list. Hey, Johnny, you got to be first on the list. Any list that you have, Business Athlete Nation, your name needs to be first. You know what Johnny always says? You know what you do when you get in an airplane, right, Johnny? Do I put the mask on you first or put the mask on me first?
Take care. If you don't put the mask on yourself first, how are you going to take care of the ones around you that you love?
That's it. All right, coming up here, nation. You know who we got coming up here next? We got the GOAT, Jory Janzen, joining us here, and we're going to talk, Johnny, Marty, Richie, we're going to talk antioxidants today with Jory Janzen. Coming up here in a moment here. I think Jory's popping up here on the screen here. Where's my screens here? There we go. There's Jory. There's Richie. So, guys, we're going to talk antioxidants today. In the next 10 minutes or so, we're going to learn about the science-backed protocol that elite athletes, business athletes, regular human beings, Richie, Marty, myself, what we do for recovery and performance. And Jory, many humans get antioxidants wrong. We focus on during and after, but we miss the system that works while we sleep. Welcome back to the lab, my friend. Let's get into how elite performers, regular humans are flipping the script on recovery timing and how we can do that with antioxidants. So first of all, let's talk about antioxidants, Jory, why they're important, why we should pay attention to them, why we should talk about them, and what we want to talk about today around the idea of antioxidant timing and so forth. Jory Janzen.
Yeah, so antioxidants, big fancy word that helps keep our cells healthy and well, right? Help so that way we've got a good immune system, things like that. So anti, right, against oxidants, oxidation. So anything that's going to come in and disrupt the cells, we want to go against that. We want our cells to be healthy and well. Now, sometimes I'm antioxidants.
Oh.
I always got to throw that in, right?
Yeah.
No, but it's for a positive outcome. So there are times when, you know what, we're taking supplements versus food sources. So if you're exercising and let's say you're in a season of just really working out really hard you're either in a sport and you're trying to compete, you're traveling a lot, you're a very busy business person and you're exercising for health, antioxidants can be a great way to keep the immune system up. Now that's in terms of health status. If you're looking for training adaptations in your training, then supplementing with high doses of antioxidants is going to interfere with that process. So it's really about when are you taking these antioxidants is it, to help with your health versus are you looking for a specific outcome from that training modality? Then that's different. The other cool thing is that antioxidants from food doesn't disrupt the process. It's high dose supplementation of antioxidants that will come in and interfere with the goal that you're trying to get out of that training.
Yeah.
So like blueberries.
Bring it down, John. Can you make sure that everyone?
No, I was gonna say, Jory, you came right out of the gate and broke down the word, and then I was just gonna say that the thing that I was gonna add in, what you already said, was that if you really just got to focus on getting it out of your food, because it's a slippery slope when you go across the line, and it's really difficult to know. So if you include foods like a blueberry is a great way to go. It's low on the glycemic index, chock full of these all sorts of nutrients, including the antioxidants. If you do this on a regular basis, you're going to be really moving the right direction. So I just love the fact that you uncovered the fact that the supplementation can be, it's just going to be misleading, misunderstanding, and I guess the best way to put it's a slippery slope.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think antioxidants from food sources, we're able to access so much in North America. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty easy. Now, I don't know in other places. And also the cost of food is really hard. So I understand why people would turn to supplements for sure. But I think as much as we can, food first. And I always use my 20-some-year-old from practicing as a young dietitian, food models just to show this is going to be your blueberries. And these are just jam-packed. Fiber, which we've talked about before, phytonutrients, nutrients that are not vitamins and minerals, nutrients that we don't even know about yet in these foods. The deeper, the darker, the more vibrant color we can get in these food sources, our veggies and fruits, the higher our antioxidant intake will be.
Richie,
you see,
yeah, Jory, from a performance perspective, should you be taking this before a workout or after a workout? Like I normally try and load on fruits after a workout just to replenish and everything. Is that right?
Yeah, if you think about it, I like that. And mine is like a super practical reason. So if you're getting your antioxidants from food, that high fiber content may not be optimal for going into a workout. So you can feel pretty bloated, really full, and especially depending on what you're doing. If you're on a bike, right, you're going to be leaning over, things can be coming out. So I think even just in terms of a gut tolerance and digestion process, that's where you want to look at in terms of, it's not so much the antioxidant itself, but the food. And then again, like I said before, it really is going to depend in terms of do you take it before or after. At the end of the day, when you're popping the supplement, the body's just going to break it down and use it. What do you want to get out of that workout session, that training session? For most general population, it doesn't matter so much, but it's the person that is trying to get really specific outcomes out of their workout. So we want some muscle adaptation. Then you're going to want to do that afterwards. No.
Okay.
Marty.
Yeah.
You see Jack Dugan's comment where he says, where I struggle is I'm afraid to add something like blueberries because of the carbs. And so, yeah.
Timing.
So
timing is everything. Timing is everything.
But the carbohydrates in these foods, I'm sorry, these like broccoli and like your dark greens, your deep blues and purple blueberries, berries in general, your deep reds. I think John mentioned it, was the glycemic index.
Very low.
The glycemic index is basically telling you low, quick sugar, high fiber content, slower release, right? So I wouldn't worry about the carbohydrates or the sugar content from your veggies and fruit. I'd look at, the Halloween bowl, yes. Those sort of things. But you need carbs. It takes fuel to burn fuel. And so if you don't have the right amount of fuel, and the quick fuel source will be your carbohydrate, then you're not going to have the fuel in the tank to get from destination A to destination B. So I wouldn't worry about the carbohydrate from your carrots. I know I had an NHL player once going, I don't eat carrots before a game. I'm like, oh my gosh, if you're going to have carbs, that's when you want them. So I would say the carbs, it's a nice quick fuel source. And it's the choices, right? You can choose a simple carb from a lollipop, or you can choose some carbs maybe from a diluted fruit juice and make your drink away you go.
And going to the blueberry, if you're worried about the carbohydrate content, it's low in the glycemic index. So unless you're eating a goddamn mixing bowl of it, you're going to be fine. It doesn't take much. The blueberry is so potent. You can have in a situation like that, I'll use small servings multiple times throughout the day rather than putting a whole bunch in there at once. But keep in mind, going back to what Jory said about the fiber, if that's a problem, well, the solution to that is simple. Start lunging, start squatting, get yourself a set of deep cheeks, and you're going to be just fine.
Oh,
Hey,
man.
Jory, I have a quick question. I want to be selfish here and talk about endurance run. So before a long run, when I'm saying like 3 hours plus, a lot of times what I do, because I don't want to eat too heavy, because then, to your point, but I don't eat from a bowl. I'm kind of lazy. I buy blueberries in bulk. So I just stick my whole hand in there and I just shove like 2 handfuls in my mouth of blueberries. I'll do the same with strawberries. I don't even cut the green stem off of them.
Now we're talking, baby. Now we're talking.
Yeah.
That's how I do it, baby.
So, so I eat the blueberries, the strawberries, and then sometimes I'll do a bagel with almond butter and honey. And sometimes am I eating too much? Because I need something. Because if you're going out for 5 hours, like, you gotta,
If you're eating, it is a fabulous question. And it's probably Sport Nutrition 101 every time I talk to someone new around sport. It's timing. So 3 to 4 hours out, if you're going to have high fiber, some moderate fat and moderate protein, you want 3 to 4 hours.
Hold on. Okay, so hold on. Let me stop you there.
Pounding up the gut or the squishing of the gut. So if you're on a bike or if you're running, the more that you might even need to make that 4 to 5 hours. So it is very personalized. But to get the carbs that you need for that 4-hour ride, for example, then I would do the 4-hour out balanced high carb, moderate protein, some fat content meal. And then perhaps 2 hours out, high carb snack, 1 hour or less, a liquid carb snack. And
let me say, most of, unless we're professional athletes, most of us are going to have to do this before work. So if we have a 4+ hour run, we're doing this at 2 a.m. So I don't have time for that to settle. Like, I'm just shoving shit in my gut. Like, and I'll tell you what I do a lot of times if I'm feeling heavy. I take the gels that I eat on my run and I'm squishing them down my gullet on the drive to the trail.
Gullet.
So I don't know what to do if I wake up and there's only going to be like 45 minutes between the time I wake up and when I start running.
Yeah,
well, your digestion's going to have a big part of that. I mean, Jory, you can talk about this. If you're efficient enough to put a bunch of shit in there right before and you can actually process it and perform well, then that's different. If somebody else might do that and they can't hold it down.
Yeah, and it takes time. I'm working with a young cyclist right now, and he's working towards 120 grams per hour of carbs coming in.
Okay.
Wow.
And so back in the day, we used to go 30 to 60 grams per hour is what you do. And then we were shocked about 8 years ago or so, like we can get to 90. Now you can train your gut to like 120. Some even get to push into like the 200. I don't know anyone personally that does the 200 yet, but so the cyclist that I am working with right now, we're pushing the 120 for him and it's sitting well. It's really, you're not going to get up crazy early to have that 4 hours out. So you have to work backward. So it's what you're doing, that supper meal and that night snack that are going to help you. It might be toast.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Perfect. Okay.
Hey, we're hanging out with Jory Janzen, Keith Bilous, Steve Marty Fit, Rich Ingram, and Johnny Anderson. We're here talking the protein break. We're talking nutrition, talking antioxidants. And Marty, could you imagine going camping with Johnny and Richie? And so we're just eating eggs whole. We're eating strawberries whole. We're just eating everything with branches and leaves. And there's no bougie going on, Marty. We're just throwing everything as Shinku said and Richie said, down the gullet.
It's not for the weak, man.
It's not for the weak.
It's not for the weak.
Jory, as always, you drop nuggets every single day, and I can tell Jack Dugan is just leaning into everything you said, and the people leaning into, and Richie's taking stuff from you today. Jory, thanks again, as always.
Yes.
What do you got on the agenda today, Jory, before we walk out of here today?
Oh, just tons of work, which is great, though, right? That's not a bad thing. But I want to leave it one more golden nugget because we were talking about antioxidants, and this is where I think I might find some love from listeners. Is that get your dark chocolate in, flavonoids, heart health, great antioxidants. So, but we're looking at like 90% up dark chocolate. We're not talking like the caramel chocolate bar.
You're not finding
dark
that chocolate standing in the checkout aisle at the grocery store is what you're saying.
Good luck with that one.
Right. But I enjoy it with a cup of savory tea. The hot tea slows me down. The dark chocolate just makes me have a moment, knowing that I'm doing something good for myself. So enjoy your day.
John Anderson told me to have
chocolate.
That's it. But Jory, before you go, I don't know if you read the news yesterday. Our favorite chocolate, Lindt, was in the news yesterday, Nation, because some Lindt chocolate might have lead in it. So that's not from Uncle Keith. That's from the facts. So there's a little lawsuit going on about what's inside the ingredients of Lindt chocolate. So as Jory's like, hey, go grab some dark chocolate. Maybe just ask the questions before you're eating that chocolate.
And here I go again, crushing. Let's look at the amount you're getting and how much dark chocolate are you actually eating to get the amount of lead that's going to be of a significance. I'm just saying.
There you go, Jory. That's my lane right there. That's what I like to. Yeah, I like that.
I love it. Jory Janzen joining us every single Monday, Wednesday, Friday, dropping nutrition advice, performance nutrition advice, food advice. Jory, I love it. I love what you bring here every single day. Thank you. Thank you for the energy, and thank you for dropping nuggets.
Sure. I hope
thanks, Jory.
Does too.
Awesome.
Thank you, Jory.
Rich is taking everything you said today. Jory is thinking about how he's going to wake up tomorrow morning and throw everything he possibly can down the gullet.
I'm going to start putting the pizzas in my blender just so I can just go into the same like John does. He puts poopy hamburger meat in his baggie and just sucks it down. That's
exactly it.
All he's got to do is just bite the corner off and squeeze it on in.
It's called baby
talking
food.
about hamburger meat.
That's what it's called. Have a good one.
That was crazy.
Oh, man.
Hey, I'll catch y'all too. I got to get out of here too. Bye, Jory.
Rock and roll, brother. You go have a good day, brother. We'll talk to you
too.
later.
I'll see y'all, man.
And I got to have a piss. So cut me loose out just for a few minutes. I got to have another piss.
We're going to get Johnny out of here as well. Me and Richie are going to hang out. We're going to do some fucking dancing here for Reloaded. Morning Loop. Mornings in a Lab with Keith and friends. You are on hour 2. Reloaded. Beyond morning routines, from insights to automated systems. Richie, last hour, man. Haley Lytle dropping nuggets, eh? Like just dropping nuggets.
Yeah.
It's just like, how did we know more? Hey?
I didn't even know where to start.
You're usually scribbling notes, and I just saw your brain just listening, just hanging on every single word Haley's talking about. You're like, yeah.
I was afraid I'd get lost. If I didn't. That's not my forte. But hey, look, that's the whole thing about it. I love what John said. Like, you got to love the process. And she's talking about spending this hours on LinkedIn. Like, I don't like doing that. So, that is one of the notes that I took. Is like, I need to either find, like, literally DM Haley myself, or find somebody that I can connect with that can help me with that. Because, you got to realize your strengths and weaknesses, and that's definitely not one of my strengths. So.
Yeah, she was great. Haley was great. And then Jory dropping nuggets too, man. Jory dropping nutritional nuggets. And again, I'm watching you lean into this because we're going to get into, in the second half of the at the 8:15 mark here, Richie. I want to get into more conversation with you on what you dropped in my bucket, what you're working towards next spring, next fall. And we're talking nutrition with Jory. Yes. And do you subscribe to that antioxidant theory, Richie, or did you just crush berries and shit like you just ate it because it's good for you?
You end up reading articles. So I'm always reading, whether it's Trail Runner Mag or Runner's World. I don't know how many subscriptions I have, but you always come back to the same thing. And basically what we're trying to do is, and I'm assuming even with strength, John, is we need to get more oxygen into our muscles. Like and if our blood vessels are constricted, or we're doing something to impede that movement to get more blood into our muscles, well, then we're doing something wrong. And so my main goal is, like, I want to increase VO2 max. Like, that's, I want to increase aerobic as well, so I can go forever. And so, it's these foods that can help us. When people, like what John's always talking about, hey, supplements are not like the first answer. There are a million things you can do before, creatine, I'm going to go get creatine. Well, hold on a second. Let's talk about how's your sleep? What are you eating? How much are you drinking? So That's why I really subscribe to the nutrition deal and oxygen. We just need more oxygen.
Yeah. Johnny, you so I know you were also leaning into that chat with Jory on antioxidants. Been a big part of your life too, eh? Just crushing berries and just making sure that those because I know you're a massive fan of micronutrients. So this is, we didn't talk about that during the antioxidant discussion, Johnny, but that is a good example of a great way to get your micronutrients in your body by leaning into antioxidants. Hey, John?
Yeah, the thing you got to understand too is that it's just like anything else. It's if you're just doing this here and there, it's not going to help. It's got to be some regularity. And so, in terms of like a blueberry, because I'm big on stabilization of blood sugar.
Yes, I know you are.
Blood sugar is unstable. Yeah. I'm just not as good of a version of me if it's unstable. So, when I use a berry, because berries are the lowest in terms of glycemic and they're the highest in the micros, it doesn't take much in per feeding. And if you use the berries after you eat whatever you're eating, it's not going to disrupt your blood sugar, but you're going to get all that in there. But I look at it more from the idea of, it's like people tend to try to put 10 gallons in a 5-gallon bucket.
It
doesn't work. You got to basically put enough to fill up. You want to get to say 4 gallons and then let it go down to 2 and then back up to 4. So it's kind of there's some regularity to the feeding schedule that I think that is missed. People think, I need my antioxidants, all these fucking berries, right? And not that that's a wrong thing to do, but are you doing it in a way that your body can actually use it? And so, and then when you got people that are saying, I'm gonna eat some blueberries, and they're eating it on top of a bunch of processed foods. Now your body's it's like it's like if you feed your dog, right? You got his bowl of kibble or whatever you feed him. Then you take a handful of gravel and you mix it in there. Well, the dog's looking at you. What the fuck are you doing? I got to get all the gravel out of there before I can eat my food. So if you're trying to give your body some really, really micronutrient dense shit, like we're talking about with the antioxidants, you got to get the food out of there that your body has to make it all really good, digestible whole food. Then you're getting the maximum out of this whole idea of using berries. If you eat a bunch of fucking crackers, right, which don't digest well, probably all sorts of fucking seed oils and shit in there, and then you eat your blueberries, you're not going to get what you're looking for. Versus if you say you ate some chicken breast or some beef and some rice and the berries, now your body's going, fuck yes, I can use all this efficiently. That's one thing. Kind of going into Richie, he's all about fueling for lengthy periods of time. Yeah. Remember that Icelander that I was telling you about? Yeah. He just reached out to me and is like, hey, I've got this new swim and he's gonna be the first guy to swim in the English Channel. And he's like, look, the boat that's protecting me won't let me continue unless I eat every hour on the hour. So and his swim is in June. Oh. So we're basically going into our first conversation on Sunday. And what we're doing is we're going to be testing different foods that are easier for him to digest that he can eat while he's fucking swimming. And so it's going to be a lot of fun to figure out exactly. I got a pretty good idea of what works for him because I'm the one who structured his diet to begin with. Yeah. But there's so much trial and error in figuring out what works for each individual. But one thing I can say, the thing I was just going to kind of push to Richie is that just entertain the idea of getting anything processed out of the way because you're putting gravel in the food, so to speak. Does that make sense, Richie?
Pizza is probably my worst. Bread. Let's just call it bread.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
pretty
processed.
good with everything else as far as nutrition, but it's pizza and then Schlotzsky's. Dude, I'll get done with the run.
What's a Schlotzsky?
What's a Schlotzsky?
Oh my God, y'all gotta Google this shit. Come on, man. So it's SCHL. It's just this big fucking sandwich with ham and turkey and cheese and all. It's just delicious. It's baked.
Well,
but it's bread.
Think like this, there's a bread, but then if there's lunch meat, now you're dealing with a whole nother level of processed food. So here's the thing, brother. What I would just flip this idea out to you, and you're obviously great at what you do. So I'm not saying that, it's not like this is not solicited information. It's just
I've always said nutrition is where I know I need help in what's going to help my performance.
I bet if you did a test on yourself, just 1 week, where you removed all processed foods, you still use your same breakdown in terms of your macros and everything else. You just remove the shit like, for example, bread and lunch meat don't digest well. And so if you put something in your stomach that processes quickly, you can get more in faster. And that's the concept that I would love for you to experiment with.
We should try, Richie, when you're ready to try it. We should try it for a week, Richie, and document it and make it part of the show. I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but I'm kind of curious about that, right? Just try it out, see what happens.
No, 100%. And I'll tell you what I was doing was I was doing these like a meal delivery service. So it was single, single ingredient foods. And they like went out of business or something. I don't know. And so that fucked the whole thing up. Do what?
That's why, because they didn't have any margins in the processed foods.
Yeah, I guess I don't know, man. But like they fucked my shit up, and they also send it in plastic, which I don't like. We're big. My family's big on like trying not to do stuff in plastics, just because the science now is coming about. Like they're finding plastics in young babies when they have to incubate them or whatever, and so But anyways, I am looking for that, and I'll let you know if I find one, Keith, because I think I saw one the other day pop up that is in like a recyclable container. And that's, again, I don't like the microwave stuff a lot, but if it's in a recyclable container that doesn't have plastic, I'm all right with that.
Well, here's something you might want to play with. This is just an idea to kind of try to get rid of some of the breads, because it's a carbohydrate, right? That's what we're using the bread for. So if you take rice and you put it in a rice cooker, but you put a fair amount more water than required, it'll be really, I mean, you could have no teeth and you could gum that shit down real quick. That makes sense. And the whole idea is to be able to get especially if, quick, easy, efficient, and highly digestible. So that's something that I would play with. To just take a rice cooker and put like twice the water you're supposed to. And it's going to be like this really gummy shit to where a lot of times with rice, they're going to prayer getting that down unless you got a glass of water. But if you can
brown rice, are you brown rice?
No, hell no, because that doesn't digest as quickly. It's got more fiber in it. If you really want to go the extra mile, take that fucking rice, put it in a goddamn coffee grinder and grind it up so it's like true like cream of rice, but unprocessed. You did it yourself. And then it's just so easy for the body to absorb. And with that shit, you could actually turn it into like a glop where you could drink it out of a fucking, a thermos or a glass or whatever you want. But that would replace the bread, and just that alone will make a big fucking difference. It's kind of like
in Afghanistan. I ate a lot of rice. I mean, they would bring me plates of just like heap, because I don't, because I'm assuming because of the carb, and we didn't have bread, or they didn't eat as much bread, but a lot of them didn't have teeth either because they just drinking chai with sugar blocks.
There we go. Well, and think like this. Put this into a term of like it's fuel, right? Bread is fuel. Yes, it is. Yes. Rice is fuel. The difference is processed or whole. So vehicles like your car, your automobile, obviously it's designed to run on gasoline. Well, you could put other fuels in there, kerosene and different variations of fuel, and it might run, but it'll run real shitty because you're asking it to operate outside of its design. And if you treat the body that way, it will it's going to be a whole different performer.
And now, Keith, maybe we may not have time for this, and let me know. We might need to. Okay, so bread. Let's talk about that. So if I go out to a field and I'm thinking 200 years ago, I got this. I'm a farmer and I'm just fucking hacking wheat down, and then I take the wheat. I get it down and I have the little seeds or whatever, and I take it to a millwright, and that millwright puts it on there and he grinds it down. He grinds it down into flour. How's that process? I don't understand.
Well, but my first question is, can you find a fucking loaf of bread that was made that way in current days, in current society?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I don't believe it's. I don't believe it's.
They put on the.
And brother, you remember the fucking bread that they were making like that was more like a fucking hockey puck. It wasn't bread like we know today.
That's right, like a baguette.
Yeah, I'm not even a fucking baguette. It was like a fucking hockey puck. You know what I mean? Okay. And so, I mean, you're totally correct in the regards that like taking rice and putting it through a coffee grinder. Yes, that's processed, but look at all the other shit they got to put in bread to make it bread in today's standards of bread. Yes, lunch meat is meat, but look at all the shit they got to put in there. So that some fucking lunch meats like have fucking carcinogens, for Christ's sake. It's unbelievable. Okay. So when we're putting stuff in our bodies that the body can't recognize, yes, it'll burn it, but it won't burn it at the highest level.
Sure.
Love it. Great conversation. Keith, John, Marty. Well, Marty's on his way. Keith, John, Richie, and talking carbohydrates, talking antioxidants, educating Richie. Johnny just dropping nuggets here on it.
I know, man.
This is awesome, isn't it, Richie? It's great because it's just knowledge, man.
Well, and here's the thing. I just want to make sure I'm not really even talking specific to Rich. I'm talking specific to anyone who's trying to fuel at the highest level. You've got to use the fuel that's inside the body's design. If you ask it to fuel with something that's outside how it was designed, it's not going to be as efficient. It's just that simple.
Yes. All right. So listen, Jimmy, here's what we're going to do. I have a lifestyle tip I'm going to throw on the table for John and Richie. And if Marty's here, Marty'd laugh as well. Joe Fontana put it up yesterday in the LinkedIn feed, and I had to fucking laugh, man.
I'm dying to hear this.
It's a good one. It's a really good one. And then what I thought we would do is we maybe kind of lean into a quick conversation around communication coach sharing 7 ways to get out of a conversation. I think we can, Richie, you get out of here, brother. You go. I know you got to rock and roll. So Richie, you go and you come back here. And while Richie's doing that, I want Richie to hear this life hack here, Johnny. So we're gonna start this conversation around. I know you're a massive communicator, Johnny. So am I. I love the power of words. Love the power of communication. 7 ways to get out of a conversation without being awkward or rude. So nation, you're starting your day right now. You're either communicating with your spouse, your colleague, somebody at work, and you're going, oh man, I got to go into a conversation today. I don't know how to do it. And I don't know how to end it. I don't know how to move through this conversation without being a rude dickhead. So I'm going to give you 7 tips, Johnny, to help through this. So here's number 1. Conversations are meant to be a back and forth, not to be a talk at. So what you want to do is you want to accept the idea of ending on your turn. Hard to do, but just have that awareness today of ending on your term. And all these other tips we're going to throw on the table are going to flow from this. And the next one, Johnny, number 2, is state a time limit. So if you're sitting down with somebody, you know, maybe you might want to say, hey man, listen, John, I got 5 minutes I got to cook a chat with him. I got 5 minutes. Because if you don't know that, you might be talking for 4.5.
I love that. And the thing about it is not only stating a timeline, but even giving a quick, synopsis of what the conversation is going to be about. Hey, Keith, I got 5 minutes, but let's make sure we get this and this nailed down before I got to go.
Yes. And nation, it's such basic stuff, but I'm telling you, the point of the show is to create awareness. And to have you start your day and go, oh, right, I heard something Richie said today, or heard something John today, or Keith said, and maybe make it 6 for you. So we're talking about communication coach sharing 7 ways to end a conversation. And we've gone through 2 of them so far, which Richie is ending on your turn, setting a time limit. And then we're going to continue that. But before I do that, I want to tell you guys this lifestyle tip that Fontana threw on the table yesterday. So Johnny, Richie, if you need new tires for your car or your truck, Fontana's like, hey, go rent another vehicle exactly like your vehicle. Go rent that vehicle.
Oh, that's messed up.
Bring it home, change the tires, put the rented tires on your car.
Yeah, and that is like, you throw a turd like that in the universe, that fucking turd is going to come back and hit you right in the fucking side of the face at the worst fucking moment. That's just, that's for me. I am just a happier fucking dude knowing that I do the right thing. And doing the right thing is not always fucking easy.
I'm not telling anybody to do that. Fontana's from Brooklyn. And he's all about jokes. And he ended the tip off with, this is a joke, folks. This is a joke.
Good. Thank God. Joe had a baby.
You know what, Johnny? You know what, Richie? There's dudes that will do that. And I'm like, holy fuck, yes. Some guy's going to head to the shop today, rent the car, drive it home, switch the 4 tires out, and then take the car back.
And the thing about it, people that think this way, if they would just adjust their thinking to work on the positive side of the fence, they would actually get more out of it. They spend too much time on the wrong side, and this shit will fuck you up, man. That's not you. It's like the universe doesn't allow that. You might get away with it for a little while.
Well, it's the same thing, Richie and Johnny, with Costco. Like, you can buy shit from Costco 2 or 3 years ago and then return it. They take anything back. And I know, Richie, you're to get in here. But people, I knew somebody that used a fucking coffee maker for like 5 years. And then we're like, oh, it's not working anymore. Took it back to Costco. And Johnny, I'm with you, man. I'm like, well, no wonder fucking prices are going up and shit's happening because schmucks like the person renting the car and changing out the tire, taking the coffee maker back. Like, come on, nation. Again, just jokes, just offering humor here from our friend Joe Fontana. But Richie, your thoughts?
I mean, that's stealing. I don't know. There's not even
stealing.
That's it. And you know, I'll always say, like, it doesn't matter if it's illegal or immoral or what do you think? Like, you know, if it's right or wrong, like, that's just fucking wrong, dude. I mean, it doesn't matter. A lot of people will say, oh, you know, that's $1 billion publicly
justify
traded company. They're not going to know the difference.
Yeah.
It's wrong. Like, it's black and white.
It is wrong. So, nation, you are not getting advice from Uncle Keith here this morning. No, I'm simply offering up some humorous joke that I saw from Fontana. We love you, Joe. I'm like, when I saw that yesterday, I was like, oh my God. Of course, the buddy from Brooklyn drops off the comment.
Right. That needs to be titled the lifestyle tip.
It is the unlifestyle tip. So, nation, we do not support this idea of renting vehicles and changing the tires and swapping it out or buying stuff on Amazon and taking the product out and putting the new one in and returning it. No, there's enough of you schmucks out there doing that here. So we're having some fun with the lifestyle tip here today. But let's keep the conversation going around because I know we got a few minutes before Richie's got to rock and roll out of here. But I want to keep going on 7 ways to get out of a conversation that you're in right now, guys. And you're like, I got to get out of it. Richie, start packing up. If you're in a meeting right now and I'm like, and you need to, you know, you've already set the tone and you got 5 minutes, 10 minutes with me, it's okay for you to start packing up to give me the indication as your converser that it's time to move on. Yeah.
No, I agree. Yeah. I mean, but you have to assume that the other person can understand these social cues, right?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
That's the problem. It's what I always do is if I'm fully engaged, I want chest on chest, shoulder on shoulder. I'm opened up. As soon as I turn,
yes,
that should be an indication. Like I'm done with this conversation. But you get these guys, they don't understand those social cues, and
you walk towards you, you're like, buddy, I'm done. So then what you might want to say, Johnny, to Richie at that point is, again, we're giving you guys nuggets, nation. We're giving you nuggets how to get out of that uncomfortable conversation today. Just say you got to go. Johnny, I got to fucking go, man. But I got to go.
Well, and you hit it right in the beginning. If you're not interrupting someone to dismiss yourself, it's not nearly as bad. You know, when you finally get a breath in, and if you have to, you know, put a fucking finger up, do something to let them know you got to get in the conversation. Say, hey, look, I want to hear more about this. This sounds really cool, but I'm already late. Can we pick this conversation up at another time? You know, there's so many ways out, but I think the intention of being sincere and polite and respectful, that'll be sensed if you're truly trying to exit the conversation with, you know, as a good person, rather than just, you know, looking at somebody and, like, you know, big leaguing them and trying to get out. You know?
But it's funny, Johnny, because this all seems so obvious, but yet with what Richie just said, it is not so obvious, because sometimes we're like, oh, but I got to talk to Rich. But Rich is turning away, he's walking away from me, and like, but no, right? So we're just giving you guys.
You can imagine where I think this happens the most. For me, where this happens the most is in the gym, right?
Oh, yes,
and so I get a lot of people that approach me because, okay, I'm on a Smith machine or I'm doing pull-ups with one arm.
Yes.
And so they'll come up and they want to ask about it. And I like, it happened to me the other day. I was on the Smith machine and I just finally, I looked at it, because you start to, like, sit back down on the bench, put your hand, and they're still fucking talking. You just gotta say, all right, man, I got to get after it, you know, and just politely, like, sometimes that's the only way to cut it off. Man.
Here, I'm going to tell you guys a secret, because I know he's not listening right now. AJ Zeglin, I love AJ, man. I love him. My best buddy in the world, my brother. Well, Johnny, Marty, Richie, I can give AJ these 7 things. Be walking out of focus, and there's AJ walking right next to me talking. I'm like, AJ, I gotta go, man. yeah. But so it's like, no, AJ, we gotta stop talking, man. I gotta go right now. The next one is.
Well, that's it up real quick. You just hit one on the head. Hey, I gotta go. Walk with me if you want to keep talking.
Yes. Yeah. Next step is tell them what's next. And then insert polite pleasantries. Like, I hope we get a chance again to chat soon. But Richie, I got to rock and roll, man. Maybe we can catch up next week. Right? So those little things, it's like, hey, I really enjoyed hanging out with you today, Richie, but I got to rock and roll, brother. Let's catch up next week. And if you can't get that social cue, then that's not my fault. You know what I mean? And then the last one is, And this is a really good one, but just apologize and repeat all of the above if necessary. And if that doesn't work out, I'll add the 8th one. Just fucking run. Just run. If AJ's walking out with you, just run like a motherfucker to the car and turn the car on and drive away. They'll get the cue at some point.
Yeah, you could, even if you have to interrupt when you're doing it, like say, look, my apologies, just the fact that you're overstepping the bound, but you're apologizing for doing it because you're interrupting, because you're trying to exit. Again, I think going back to, if a person can tell that you're truly sincere, that goes a long way.
Yes. Right. Yes. All right, well, boys, I think it's time to wrap it up. I know, Richie, you got to rock and roll here. Shinku's dropping with some great comments here. Shinku's like, point your shoes away. Yeah, true story, Shinku. Just point the shoes and start walking. Richie, what do you got planned for the agenda today? Oh, you're heading out for your big speech, man. I'm fucking excited for you, man. You heading out today?
Yeah, thank you. I'm heading out tomorrow. Morning. So yeah, I'm just rehearsing today and I'm packing up and I'm heading out.
Yeah, Johnny, just for you. So Richie's been working on this for a while, and he, I think there's like a cold call situation here where he closed Texas A&M, and he was working back and forth, and he's got a big deal with them, and he's heading out to do one of his first speeches, Johnny, regarding this new thing he's delivering. So,
is it a full blown? Is it a keynote, like a 45-minute, brother?
Yeah. So it'll probably be about 50 minutes is where I'm at with it. And,
that's perfect. That's perfect.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's just a new message, kind of.
And it's a lot of fun in the regards. You get up there, of course, you settle in, and once you're in there, I mean, goodness gracious, being on stage for that amount of time is a lot of fun. It's just kind of settling in, getting settled in right out of the gate. I'm sure you've got the thing nailed down where you get their attention up real quick, right out of the gates, and next thing you know, you're changing lives. It's fun.
Yeah, it is fun.
All right, Richie. Well, listen, you rock and roll out of here, pal. I enjoyed having you today. I know you're away tomorrow. We're going to be cheering you on and getting after your big speech there today. So I appreciate hanging out with us today, buddy. You have a good one, and we'll talk to you along the way. Okay.
Okay. All right.
I'm excited for it, brother. I'm excited for it, brother. Go get that shit.
Yeah. Send me know later. Okay. All right. Okay, Johnny, I know you got to rock and roll as well today, brother. What do you got going on today, pal? Before you do go, highlight from today's show for you. I didn't ask Rich's, but highlight from today's show.
That's a good one. I think, Jory, I think the one with Jory was good because, I think the fact that, she understands it from a science and so technically based, but she even broke down the word antioxidant for us, which is really helpful. So.
Yes. Yeah. I thought so too. Well, when I was looking for topics today, Johnny, so again, I'll be truthful, when I'm looking for topics, I'm looking for a topic that you both can lean into, because I like the way you both kind of come to the table with it, right? So Jory offers her, you offer, you guys, and then and at the end of the day, you guys come together with the same message, right? Mm-hmm. But I think that antioxidants are talked about, but a lot of people, I think, are dismissive of them and just like, I'll go crush some blueberries. But I love what you said. Right, which is, have your blueberries, but if you're going to be crushing shitty food 98% of the time to make yourself feel better by having blueberries or strawberries, don't waste your fucking time.
Yeah,
really, right?
Exactly. Yeah, it's if you're using blueberries, that's great. That means you're moving the right direction, but just don't let that be the only thing you're using to move the right direction.
Yes. Okay, Jimmy, I'm putting the creator spotlight inside of your chat messages here. We had the wrong one inside of our notes here, Jimmy, so I put that in there for you. And I think we're going to pivot to that. Johnny, do you got to rock and roll, or can you hang around for a few minutes? You got to rock and roll.
I got to jump, yeah, but I appreciate you, brother. I'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow morning.
You betcha, pal. Go get it, brother. You have a good one, okay?
You got it.
Awesome. All right, Johnny's out of here. Keith and Jimmy are left in the lab. Jimmy, of course, is pressing the buttons over there, and Marty's off doing his thing, and Flynn's doing her thing, and Richie's getting ready for his big day tomorrow. But at this point in the show, that we like to do what we call the creator spotlight. And Jimmy, if you can just give me a cue there on the message that you're all set up here. But we have somebody we're going to celebrate today. And I am going to, of course, get myself organized here live while I'm talking to you guys on the show. Yes, as a live show, sometimes you got to just have to figure this out as we're doing it in real time. So I'm going to get this set up here so that we can get our creator spotlight. And Nation, what we like to do during this part of the show is take a human being. And we've been doing it a lot lately on the LinkedIn platform. We're moving our attention over to Substack, to Threads, Instagram, maybe X. I don't know. A little bit toxic over there. So we're looking to build a non-toxic conversation for men over here on the Threads platform and LinkedIn platform, YouTube, etc. But we take the spotlight. I'm like, oh yeah, that human being's doing some great work, or that human being's awesome, or that human being's doing this. And we take the big mornings in the lab spotlight and go, shine it on them. Just shine it bright on their ass as they're going up the mountain. So today, we are going to shine the spotlight on a career roadie turning the traditional playbook upside down. A LinkedIn top voice reshaping how professionals view their value. That strategic mind behind the career bump and the salary bump. Former HR insider, now exposing the secrets to securing true worth. Today, we're going to celebrate the Mornings in the Lab Creator Spotlight on somebody on the platform, and I'm going to pivot my attention without the drum roll, and we're going to celebrate today's Mornings in the Lab Creator Spotlight. It is Carrie Lynn Shaw. What's up, Carrie? Surprise, surprise. So Carrie's your career roadie. Yeah, guiding high performers to get in the driver's seat and secure the compensation they deserve. You think you deserve more money? Go talk to Carrie. Yeah, LinkedIn top voice empowering professionals to own their career story. Now, here's why we are celebrating and featuring Carrie Lynn today. She has absolute business athlete energy. Yeah, she's not just helping people negotiate better salaries. No, she's rewiring how they think about their entire career trajectory, from feeling stuck and undervalued to owning their professional story. Now listen, Carrie's transforming an overlooked reality that while most career coaches focus on the resumes and the CVs and all the stuff you made 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, Carrie Lynn builds that confidence, the confidence systems that turn fear of negotiation into power at the table. Carrie is creating sustainable change. Through the salary bump, she's showing professionals how to leave money, how to stop leaving money on the table and start commanding their true market value. Her clients, they see 30 to 50% compensation increases. More importantly, Carrie's clients learn to drive their own career destiny. So nation, if you are looking to make some more cash in your life and you want to make sure your value is there, you want to invite Carrie Lynn Shaw into your world. Connect with her on LinkedIn to learn how she's helping professionals get in the driver's seat of their career, transform negotiation fear into negotiating power, building the confidence that commands higher value. Carrie, what camera am I looking at? That one. Carrie Lynn Shaw, we want to invite you to Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends to celebrate a creator that you might want to put on the table and bring to the table for our creator spotlight here. Mornings in the Lab. All right, Jimmy, I think we're almost done, man. I think the show's almost over here. I want to just pause and take a moment, just reflect on the last 90 minutes of the show. So listen, our show starts at 8 o'clock Eastern time. We are the only morning show on the planet, men, for men like you. Yeah, non-toxic conversation. We're vulnerable. We share our feelings. We talk about the emotions that are going on inside of us. We're not dismissive. We're welcoming. We're opening. I don't care. We don't care what gender you are, what race you are, who you sleep with, frankly, where you sleep. If you're a human, you got a heart, we want to invite you here to Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. We drop 8 o'clock Eastern time, the only morning show for men. I wake up every single day, 4 o'clock a.m. to hold myself accountable, and more importantly, to help you guys hold yourself accountable. So, on behalf of Christopher Martin, C. Marty Fit, John Anderson, Rich Ingram, Haley Lytle, producer Jimmy on the buttons. Did I get everybody? John Anderson, Richie, Marty, Keith, producer Flynn over there, and Haley and myself, and of course, producer Jimmy. I'm out of here. Keith Bilous, Mornings in the Lab. We'll see you guys tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Come find me on Threads. Come find me on YouTube. Come find me on LinkedIn. I got to go for a piss. We'll see you guys tomorrow.